homeless people sleeping on the steps aside, calm down. You're not gonna come close to hitting me. If that guy thinks that was a close call, he really shouldn't be driving. There was about a mile of space between us. 4 things. I made that video a few days ago. 4 things that bother me when I deal at PH. And today, 4 great things about dealing at PH. 1, the geography. Let me walk this way. There's music playing in Valet at Cromwell. Geography. Often, park at Harrah's, go to the employee weight room in the link, and then walk to PH. Not crazy close, but I know the walk, and I pass through Bally's, and I know a lot of people in Bally's. And don't like the garage at Link, nor do I like it at Flamingo, which is like right over there. But I like the garage at Harrah's, so often park there, employee weight room, and yeah, walk to Planet Hollywood South, walk back usually to my car at Harrah's. And I like this section of the strip also. Other places, you know, even when I stayed at Excalibur, which probably won't happen again anytime soon now that I have a permanent address, that walk was okay. You walk up the west side of the strip. That was the way I went when I wanted to stay in air conditioning, because you're in New York, and Park MGM and Aria and City Center. You're not outside for that much, so you can stay cool, even though it is a longer route. If I was in a hurry, I would go up the east side of the strip and, you know, pass, you know, MGM, Hard Rock Cafe, that new casino they're building just south of the intersection of Harmon and the Strip. Anyway, I like this part of the Strip. You know, if you worked at Resorts World, which, you know, you might love, but I mean, you're parking at Resorts World. Like, what's the next closest place you could park? I don't know, either like Wynn or like Circus? No idea. So I like, you know, when I stayed at Excalibur, the walk. Now lately, park at Harrah's, get over there, or if I'm driving straight to work, I like parking at Cosmo and crossing over the street. So it's a good part of the strip. I like the location. Item number 2, from the Flamingo Valet. No music is playing. They understand. I like to film videos here. The perks. So I think every casino has an EDR, I think. I haven't heard of one that doesn't, but I don't know for a fact. And I do hear that Westgate, Resorts World, and Wynn are the best. I hear that a lot. People never tell me what makes them the best, what details, nor do they tell me what dishes, but I hear that a lot. Those 3 are the best. But it's something I didn't know existed till pretty recently. I think in 2022, when Bally's was in the temp area, that was the first time an employee told me that the EDR was a thing. Like, why would I know? So yeah, so that's one. Also the weight room. Not every place has that. Also, kind of add, you know, combine number 1, what I said, the location, where it is, because it used to be somewhere besides the link. It was off the strip. I think not far from Rio. It wasn't like really far off the strip. It wasn't like next to Red Rock, but it wasn't always in the link. Not that long ago, it was off the strip, so I like it on the strip. I'm staying at Harrah's, and I could go to the Harrah's guest weight room. I don't. I go to the Link employee weight room, and that's an amazing weight room, by the way. There are still so many things in there, I don't even know how to use them. The big thing, yeah, I guess the weight room's the big one. Student loan repayment program probably won't apply to me. I planned on having my student loan paid off by the end of the calendar year 2026. I would need to be an employee at Caesars for 2 years before I could apply for the student loan money. So I could just pay it off, except for like a few thousand, and then wait and then do all the paperwork and have the time go by and get the payments. I don't know, probably not worth it, since I wasn't planning on even having any more of the student loan when 2027 started. But the fact that it exists is cool. I didn't think that would be a thing, and they mentioned it during orientation. So thing number 2, like the perks. From the Flamingo Habitat, maybe the most humid spot on the strip, item number 3 is the quality of the games. So it's rare, but I have dealt some pretty, oh, that is cool lighting feature. It's rare. I have dealt some slower games, some boring games. It's not common, but it makes me appreciate the others. At Orleans, I dealt some boring, slow games, and PH on occasion, usually not the case. Man, it would be rough if that were so consistent, so frequent, dealing those downs. It is, man, I've played in those games, it's draining as a player. I've dealt in those games, it can be draining as a dealer. So I love the quality of the games, the raises, the calls, the all-ins, the conversation, the trash talk. It's, time goes by very quickly. Like hours really fly by sometimes. Downs go by quickly. But even like a huge chunk of the shift flies by sometimes. So I like the quality of the games. Yeah, the tournaments are a nice change of pace also. You know, we don't get a ton of different cash games going, but tournaments, people in the tournaments have the most fun of anyone on the strip playing poker. They have a great time, and it's like, yeah, it's not as much money at stake, but like the conversations and the joy and sometimes the trash talk is like elevated. It's a lot of fun dealing the cash games. It's a lot of fun dealing the daily tournaments in Planet Hollywood. All right, fourth thing as I just walk around this fountain, because the lighting is nice and there are only 2 people over there. They can't even hear me, so I'm not bothering anyone. Fourth and final thing, oh, the size of the room. So I wouldn't mind, you know, Orleans, man, Orleans, especially when they have tournaments going, huge. I have like 60 tables out there during the summer. And we were so busy during the summer at PH that we had the daily tournaments going in the tournament areas, which I named Tournament Area Lightning and Tournament Area Thunder. We have 12 tables with, you know, the lock boxes. We could deal cash on 12 tables. We have another 11 that can only be used for tournaments. No Bravo, no Shuffler, no boxes for a promo, for promo money, nor a rake. And when we are that busy, the tournaments need to be over there. So that happened, but I have no problem when it's like today we had, I think 5 tables going at our busiest, just solid in August for a smaller room, especially a new one. But you deal the same cash table several times throughout the night. That's interesting because, you know, that never happened. All the times I dealt cash at Orleans, never happens. Usually like deal 1 hour of tournaments, then they realize the tournament's slow, they have me deal cash, and it's like 6-7 hours of cash. Never deal the same table twice. There's so many cash tables going there. When you're dealing the same table 2 or 3 times, a few things happen. For one, get a rapport with the players. There was a guy last week, he really liked me because I knew the area of Texas where he lives. He was trying to describe it to people, and as soon, his starting point was Dallas. And as soon as he said like the next spot in Texas where like you would have to drive, and then like as soon as he said the next town, everyone was lost. But I knew the next town, and then I asked him about it, and then he kept getting more and more specific. And ultimately, the fact that I knew where Sherman, Texas was, like, made him thrilled. I dealt that table, we talked about Sherman, Texas, and then like 2 hours later, I was back at that table before I even sat. He said, oh, there's my favorite dealer, the only person in the room who knows where I live. There's also, you get to know some people who are new. You know, like they might need a little more instruction, you know, that we go clockwise, when to put their blinds out, how the straddles work, things like that. Or just a lot of people who play anywhere else with straddles. Usually, most other cities, the button straddle, you start in the small blind, so sometimes people like habitually forget. Sometimes they act first when they're the small blind, when someone straddles on the button. So you could say a couple times or remind them right before they act, you know, we start under the gun. It makes the game more efficient because you know some of the players and you keep dealing to the same players, you know, 2, 3, maybe 4 downs at the same table throughout the night, and you develop a nice rapport. They seem to enjoy it, and don't know that anyone has ever tipped more because of like a conversation. You know, we had a conversation and like 2 hours later we like continued the conversation. But I mean, that possibility is definitely out there, but it's just it's a nicer experience. The players seem to like it. There's like you know, it's a little more comfortable and it's a little friendlier. So I don't mind at all. This, if we have a small room with a moderate number of tables going, but it means you're dealing to the same people several times throughout the night, you're getting to the same table. So there you go, 4 things I like. Of course, I made the video 4 things that bothered me, and I was going to come back with the opposite 4 things I enjoy about dealing at Planet Hollywood. And now walking back to my car because my shift just ended. And remember, rice is a spoon food.